The insurance companies who had decided that cancer was a pre-existing condition and they might not pay for it. So Barack knows what it feels like to be battling a broken healthcare system. And don't we want a president who has that perspective? Barack gets it. After college, like many of you may do, Barack worked for years working in communities on the south side of Chicago. Something that we would all want young people to do. Work in neighborhoods that had been devastated by the closing of steel plants. Jobs dried up. He saw the devastation that happened in those communities, worked for years to develop job training programs to get people back on their feet. To build after-school programs for kids. And don't we want a president who brings that kind of perspective and experience? Someone who's determined to give working folks a chance to get ahead? Let me tell you something, Barack gets it. And I both understand the challenges of paying for your college and your education. We were both blessed and grateful to be able to get our college and law degrees. And we were grateful for having the opportunity to move from a working class family into corporate degrees with decent salaries. We feel blessed, but that education came at a cost. And because we didn't stay in the corporate world, we worked in our communities. And I know some young people in this crowd won't like to hear this, but we just paid off our student loans just a couple of years ago. And let me tell you, Barack gets it. He understands what it's like to carry debt. So don't we want to bring that to bring this perspective to know the importance of making sure that every young person can go to college. Barack gets it. He understands that people aren't asking for much in this country. People don't want much. They don't expect government to solve all their problems. People just want policies that help us in our everyday lives. They want a president who will change Washington so that it's on our side instead of standing in our way. We just want a Washington that instead of just talking about family values, we actually have policies that value families. That's the kind of president of the United States that Barack Obama will be. And in less than 50 days, believe it or not, and when I hear that, sometimes I go, yay! Sometimes I go, that it? That's all the time we have. But in less than 50 days, Americans will get a chance to put this man in the White House. And the stakes in this election could not be higher. When you look at the candidates and their plans for this nation's future, for me, the choice seems very clear. There's only one candidate in this race who's offering the kind of change that we need, that we've been talking about, that we've been looking for. There's only one candidate who's built his economic plan around the middle class, who'll cut 95% of taxes for all working Americans. There's only one candidate who will stop giving tax breaks to companies that are shipping jobs overseas and start rewarding companies that create jobs right here in America. And reduce costs for health care. There's only one candidate. There's only one candidate with a long-term energy plan that looks beyond quick fixes and makes real investments in renewable energy so that we reduce our dependence on foreign oil and make sure that we're handing over a planet that is safer and cleaner to our children. There's only and investing in early childhood education by recruiting a new cadre of world-class teachers and paying them. Regardless of their ability to pay. There's only one candidate who's talking about that. And there's only one candidate who's committed to making sure that women are finally receive equal pay for the work that they do. And you don't have to take my word for it. Last week, Lily Ledbetter campaigned with me. She's that brave woman who took her fight for equal pay all the way to Supreme Court. She's 70-something years old right now, and she is still fighting not for her, but for all the young women who are coming after her. And what she said when she was out on the campaign trail with me, she said that she supports Barack Obama because he's the only candidate, and I quote, who has stood up for women like me.